In our daily life, we see many objects. Some objects are at rest and others in motion, like the birds are flying and the fishes are swimming in water. Planets moving around the sun. All these are in motion. When an object changes its position with time, we often perceive an object to be in motion. For example, here the position of car is changing with time. We say that the car is moving or the car is in motion. Every object moves in different ways. So, there are 4 different types of motion: rectilinear motion, circular motion, rotational motion, and periodic motion. When a body moves along a straight line path, it is said to be in rectilinear motion. For example, the motion of a train on a straight bridge is rectilinear motion. And if a body moves along a circular path, that motion is called circular motion. For example, the motion of a child in a merry-go-round or the motion of the earth around the sun in a circular orbit is an example of circular motion. If a body spins around on its fixed axis, that motion is known as rotational motion. For example, the motion of the earth on its axis is an example of rotational motion, or the motion of blades of the fan is also rotational motion. The motion which repeats itself after regular intervals of time is called periodic motion. For example, the motion of the swing or to and fro motion of a simple pendulum are example of periodic motion. Here you can see some vehicles are moving faster than the others. Even the same vehicle moves faster or slower at different times. So here we can group the motion of the objects as slow and fast. An object which takes a long time to cover a certain distance is known as slow, while the other object which takes shorter time to cover the same distance is known as fast. For example, if your school is at a distance of 5 km from your home and you want to go to school by bicycle, then it may take around 25 minutes to reach the school. And if you go to school by school bus, then the same distance can be covered only in 10 minutes. So, it shows that the bicycle takes a longer time than the bus. The most convenient way to determine which of the two objects is moving faster is to compare the distance moved by them in a unit time, which is called speed. The distance travelled by an object per unit time is known as the speed of the object. A slow moving object is said to have a slow speed and a fast moving object is said to have high speed. So, if we know the distance covered by 2 buses in 1 hour, then we can answer which one is slower and which one is faster. When we say a car is moving at a speed of 50 km per hour, it means that it is going to cover a distance of 50 km in 1 hour. Speed is the total distance covered divided by the total time taken. For example, if a car travels a distance of 200 km in 2 hours, then the speed of the car is 100 km per hour. So, when we say the car is moving with a speed of 100 km per hour, then we do not bother whether the car has been moving with a constant speed or not during that 1 hour. Therefore, the speed calculated here is the average speed of the car. In everyday life, we rarely find objects moving with a constant speed over long distances or for longer duration of time. If the speed of an object moving along a straight line keeps changing, then its motion is said to be non-uniform motion. On the other hand, if an object moves along a straight line with a constant speed, it is said to be in uniform motion. In this case, the average speed is the same as the actual speed. We generally measure time with the help of clocks and watches. A duration in which things occur is known as time. It is very difficult to think that how did the people in ancient time measure times, as they do not have clocks or watches. In order to measure the time, ancient people used some natural events which repeated regularly after fixed time intervals. For example, they found that the sun rises every day in the morning. So, the time between one sunrise and the next was known as a day. In a similar manner, time from one full noon to next full noon is called a month. A year was fixed as the time taken by the earth to complete one revolution of the sun. Many times, measuring devices were used in different parts of the world before the pendulum clocks became popular. Sundials, water clocks, and sand clocks are some examples of such devices. A simple pendulum consists of a small metal ball called bob, which is suspended by a long thread from rigid support such that the bob is free to move back and forth. The to and fro motion of a simple pendulum is an example of periodic or an oscillatory motion. Now the pendulum is at rest in its mean position. The pendulum is said to have completed one oscillation when its bob, starting from its mean position O, moves to A, to B and back to O. The pendulum also completes one oscillation when its bob moves from one extreme position A to other extreme position B and comes back to A. The time taken by the pendulum to complete one oscillation is called its time period. The time period of the pendulum depends on its length. The length of a pendulum is the length of thread from the point of suspension to the center of the bob. Second is the standard unit of measuring time. It is represented by symbol S. The larger unit of time are minute and hour. Since the speed is distance divided by time, so the basic unit of speed is meter per second. It could also be expressed in other units such as meter per minute or kilometer per hour. The symbols of all units are written in singular. For example, we write 50 kilometer, not 50 kilometers. Now we know how to calculate the speed. Once you know the speed of the object, you can easily find the distance moved by it in a given time. All you have to do is to multiply the speed by time. So, the distance covered is equal to speed multiplied by time. You can also find the time an object would take to cover a distance while moving with a given speed. That is, time taken is equal to distance divided by the speed. You might have seen a meter fitted on top of scooter or motorcycle. And similarly, meters can be seen on the dashboard of cars, buses and other vehicles. So, here you can see the dashboard of a car. Note that one of the meter has kilometer per hour written at one corner. This is called speedometer. It records the speed of the vehicle in kilometer per hour. And there is one more meter which shows the distance covered by the vehicle. It is called odometer. Odometer measure the distance in kilometers. So far we have studied about distance, time and speed and their respective standard units. Hope you enjoyed the video and watch out for part 2 of this lesson. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.